Shout out to everybody listening, waiting. Thank you for your patience, everybody in the chat. To get this thing started, it's going to be a magnificent show. This is the third part of our series. Hasn't it been an amazing series so far?
It's been
I mean,
magical.
wow. Each
It's been
episode has,
it's been a mythos. It's been the
yeah.
Black Crystals mythos for real. It's played out. You cannot write this script, but it was very well written because it was written.
It was
I, I I
written.
I was speaking about this earlier. Like we literally had been made for this time. We've been
hmm
speaking about the culmination, the possibility of these things coalescing and culminating for over a decade.
hmm hmm
You know,
Indeed. Let,
everybody, yeah. Okay.
let me get to this commercial real quick. I'm gonna let the people fill in the room, then we're gonna get this thing started. Be back in
Yes.
about 30 seconds, y'all. Gonna get to a quick commercial from my brother King Simon. Be right back. Then I'll officially bring the guest on to the show.
Numerovation with King Simon. Text me now at 347-496-1022. You could also take my course if you want to, but do text me for your sessions at 347-496-1022. You could also get my books on Amazon at Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. Remember, you can book your session and get it done right now. 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. King Simon the Numerovator.
King Simon with the cocaine music in the background. I hear you, my brother. Shout out to King Simon, my brother with the numerology. Hey, yeah, we were just talking off camera, yo. We're gonna get into that. Rick Ross playing how to make an emergency landing. We're gonna get into that. We're definitely gonna talk about that. Something Minister Jew touches on when it comes to collapsing the wave. That we
Right.
all need to be aware of at this time. But we'll definitely get to that collapsing the wave, post eclipse. Blue and red. We'll drop it on that. Blue, red. Welcome back, my brothers. Welcome back, man.
Peace, my
Welcome back.
brother.
Peace, my
Yes.
brothers.
It's honor. It's an honor to
Yeah.
be back. You know what I'm saying? In the building with Father Rich and the Black Magic family. Because we can do magic.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, man.
Honored.
So
Yeah.
last show, Euphoria wasn't released. No. So since the last show we had, we've gotten 2 responses from Kendrick. Euphoria and what is it? 616.
616. Yeah, 616.
6:16 a.m.
So
6:16 a.m.
just to
in
start
LA.
out, from where we left off last time. And then I think I woke up the next day or the day after that to hear Euphoria. So
Right.
I think Blue Pill sent it to me first, and I listened to it. I listened to it about twice, and I'm like, oh shit! I'm like, wow, this dude went in. Started out with the sample, the soul sample.
Teddy Pendergrass.
Teddy Pendergrass,
Teddy P,
my latest
baby.
greatest inspiration. Then
Yeah.
he had like 2 other beat changes. I'm like, wow, this shit is crazy. I'm listening to the lyrics and the mature. It was like he was playing chess with Drake in a track. So then I go online and hear some responses later on that day. I hear either that day or the next day. I hear Cam say he don't like it. I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck? May said he don't like it. I'm like, huh? I'm like, wait a minute. Whack 100 said he don't like it. I'm like, what? What the fuck? I'm like, am I bugging out? Am I getting too old? What's going on? Then Flex said he don't like it. Drake won. I said, what? I said, wait a minute. These niggas are on code.
Yes.
What the? Because I'm looking at the numbers ain't adding up. The numbers on the video, he's at like 10 million in a couple of days for Euphoria. Number 1 trending. He's impacted the entire culture. It's being played on NBA,
No.
TNT. There's restaurants, Chinese restaurants in Toronto making
Broke
massive
streaming
amounts of money.
records.
Breaking streaming records.
Not on the
on
first
Spotify.
day, on the second day, right? So let's emphasize this because this is the thing that they have the industry plans.
Let me finish up. Let me finish. I know, let's just all give each other a chance tonight. Let me finish this up, Blue. So what I want to say was ended it out. It appears that what we call new media and old media are on code. The hip-hop media outlets seem to be siding with Drake, and the fans seem to be siding with Kendrick.
Yes.
Right.
Amazing. I thought I was in bizarro land at first. I thought I was getting old. I thought I didn't know what I was talking about. I thought I was bugging out. Then I'm like, oh, I got what's going on. So we got something here where niggas is on cold for whatever reason. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna have a good conversation about the idea of gatekeepers, the idea of new media, the idea of working with folks like bar stools and different entities where you have to watch what you say, biases, all that stuff. But yeah, I just want to start out like that. It just seemed like the hip hop media outlets and the fans have two completely different reactions to what's going on in hip hop, and we'll get into a plethora of things. But go ahead, my brother Blue. Go ahead. What you were saying?
Yes. We've initially been saying that we need a revolution in hip hop media
Yeah.
because hip hop media is an extension of the hip hop industry,
The
right?
labels.
The labels are also, they're corporate, but they're not only corporate. They not only own publishing, they own, like record publishing, they own book publishing, they own magazines, and they also own media. They're tied into the conglomerates.
Mm-hmm.
So the goal is always to control the narrative, as we continuously say, by any and all means, always control the narrative. So the narrative has to be in alignment with the corporations' corporate interests are. They're transnational corporations that are conglomerates. So Universal Music is also attached to the Universal Movie Division, is also attached to X, Y, and Z, but they're also the main funders, they said, to the six God charities that deal with arming them for security in that region. Now, this is
Mm-hmm.
coming from the music industry, right? And they also are participating in multinational business endeavors as well, right? They're almost like a bank, if you will. So they got to control the narrative by any and all means because more goes with, is deeper than rap, it's bigger than rap for them. And the thing is that if there's a voice, the voice that's the dominant voice in the quote unquote culture or the society that is controlling the brain waves, because the brain waves of society are the quote unquote the minds that are responsible for manifesting the reality as it has been embedded in their subconscious, because that's where music is embedded. That's where music affects the subconscious. So if you want to control the masses, you have to do it from the top of the quadrivium. Remember, the quadrivium is a combination of the trivium, grammar, rhetoric, and logic, and then the quadrivium, right? And the highest step of those is music. This is the seven liberal arts of masonry. At the very top is music. So he who controls the quote unquote minds of the people, Gemini, the brainwaves of the people, they are the ones that are able to dictate whatever blueprint is being handed to the people for them to manifest the desires of the corporate interests of the quote unquote bankers that own the likeness, the voice, and also not just the voice, but what's being said, not how it's being said and what's being said of said artists, right? So he's like, yo, it's kind of obvious that we know this individual is serving the interests, the six God is serving the interests of the six gods, right? And then that's able to be proven, that's able to be shown, and even more so, with him strategically having a conversation in the culture, not about race, about ethnicity and about
Right.
culture, right? And there's nuances to go along with that because that's tied into a people's quote unquote story, their struggle, right? And their vision for their future, which involves how you have to program their children because their children are the future. So it's like, why would I allow my child to be in your house listening to your programming? I need to know what you think. So if I leave my child with you, I know what kind of children I'm getting back. So this is all about the mind because Kendrick is a Gemini. You feel me? But then when we look at the whole aspect of it being media and control, we have to understand that media is an extension of military, right? Media is a wing or an arm of military. So, you know, the aspect of what they represent, the bloggers and the podcasts are just an extension of the corporations or hip hop quote unquote industry, where they maintain their relationships, they're an extension of mainstream media at this point. So the things that people are looking for them to say to have independent voices, they can't because they have sponsorships. Who pays their bills? They're not independent media, right? They're indebted to the people that are in their pocket, and it's like, nah, I don't think that that is the universal decision that we will make. We have to go with our God by any unknown means because that ties us back to the machine.
Mm.
Whereas the consensus with the people is obvious. He broke streaming records on the second day because what the hashtag was, they were saying he don't got replay value, right? The people that didn't like it is like, yeah, it don't got replay value. You know what I'm saying? He said a lot, but he ain't say nothing. But he broke streaming records on day two because the
That
That
people,
means
says
word of
that's a
mouth.
lot.
right,
That says
the
a lot.
word of
That says a
mouth,
lot.
the people went and did their investigation after they heard, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it got layers to it. Yeah, did you hear the lyrics? Did you read the lyrics? Because when I heard it, and then I heard it again, but then I had tapped into Red's live. He was reading the lyrics.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, on some poetic
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
tip, like I had just put my we put the precious up last night, and just seeing the overwhelming response and love that people were giving to poetry, spoken word, and raw form, to see this brother continuously take these artistic chances with saying, this is how I'm going to express myself. I'm going to start my conversation like this. You feel me? And
And
then
he
he
go,
Hey,
gets into his
mm,
rhythm.
fam.
Yeah, right.
So I think that the music industry is discovering simultaneously with the college universities are discovering around America. They are beginning to discover that the paper, when they follow the money, it goes down a certain quote unquote rabbit hole, right?
Right,
So what they call the Drake stimulus package in the industry, people are beginning to find out that it didn't only land on the tables of the artists. The Drake stimulus package extended to the
mm,
bloggers. The Drake
mm,
stimulus package extended to the
mm.
streamers. The
Fire.
Drake stimulus package extended to the influencers. They are on
facts.
top of influencer marketing. OVO is not, they as a brand and as a marketing brand, their marketing arm is very strong. They know who to contact. When I saw Mace and Cameron with OVO Letterman jackets on, I
Mm.
already knew what I was looking at. Right when they had the OVO, they got the owl Letterman jackets on, and
Right,
their take on the battle was what it was. Barstools is the parent company of Gilly and Wallow, and what their take on this whole situation, I understood what that was. Funkmaster Flex, his take on, he was with Ebro, he was with, look, Peter Rosenberg, and you already know who he aligns with, right? He's a six
right,
god. He was like, yo, Kendrick all day. Ebro, who is the program director, who theoretically is over Funkmaster Flex, right? He is
right,
of biracial descent. He was like Kendrick all day. And then Flex was like, nah, I'm going with Drake. I shared with y'all on the last show that there's a preferred demographics that is the prize of this war. The preferred demographics that is the prize of this war is my son in them, right? He is 16 years old.
right,
They are trying to get the 16 up to the 25-year-olds. People like us, they already threw us away. It doesn't matter. It is so for the blogs that are playing themselves and they're siding with you with the boy and whatnot. We know why they're doing that. They are aligning themselves with a certain demographics of youth. They want to be on their side, right? And another thing that has to be highlighted is the dangers, or we're seeing in real time what the bots can do. Okay, bot magic. Because when they released Euphoria, if I took what the bots were saying on
Woo.
Instagram for the
Woo.
for word, and that's why Blue said the second day the streaming broke the record, because people were being influenced by the bots on the first day, and they were being influenced by the blogs and whatnot. But then when they started to see the reviews and people were reading the lyrics, and they were like, wait a minute, oh, hold on, what is he saying? You know what I mean? But when it came to the
Yeah.
snippets and when it came to the bots in the comments, they threw me off. I was like, oh yeah, that shit is mid. I posted it on my page to show what somebody said, but in hindsight, when I went through it, I'm like, I'm never listening to the comments again because these are all paid
Wow.
bots.
Right.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, no, definitely, definitely.
Controlling the narrative.
Controlling the
You know,
narrative.
I I already seen in the comments, several comments, people being triggered, and I seen you. We've seen this all over Instagram about Kendrick telling Drake he can't say the N word no more. I'll just say the N
Yeah.
word for now. Let
Right.
me just put one up. And I even on so-called, I don't even know if this is a bot or not. It hurts me to see black people to criticism of Drake's blackness as a white person. So
Yes.
there's so
Yes.
many people who are allegedly triggered by him saying Kendrick can't say the N-word. Somebody in the chat earlier wrote, "Is my biracial grandchild allowed to say the N-word?" I
Right.
want to ask y'all: did we miss the point in Kendrick's response and Euphoria? What I feel as though it may have been more about Drake's disdainness for black people in general, like him wearing a black face, or his I guess you could say his insecurities about his blackness. I think maybe he might have been targeting that. Maybe that was his reason, Kendrick's reason for saying that line, more so than the fact that he was biracial. I want to get y'all opinions on that. Did a lot of people miss the mark about what point he was trying to make when he told Drake he couldn't say the N-word no more?
I feel that people who are catching those strays and whatnot
Yeah.
are being very hypocritical about how they indulge in the culture, because these same people indulge in sexy red's lewdness. These same people indulge in the gunplay of their favorite rappers. These same people indulge in all type of derogatory statements that rappers make, and they don't take it personal. Nor do they say, "Can their grandchild or the is this going to affect my grandchild?" You know what I mean?
Right.
This
Right.
is battle rap, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to be the one to be the bearer of bad news, but in battle rap, things are said in battle rap. Now, Drake is a special character because although he has two nations in his bosom, he's being addressed about his ethnicity. He's not being addressed about his race, right? Case in point, J. Cole. Nothing ever comes up about J. Cole, even though J.
Exactly.
Cole
Yeah.
has a European mother, the same as Drake. But J. Cole's mother does not belong to the same ethnicity that Drake mother's belongs to. Drake mother belongs to an ethnicity that he claims. This guy, he claims that ethnicity. So he's claiming both nations. And that nation that he claims, right, is why Kendrick is like, you know what? Being that we can't say nothing about y'all, it's cringeworthy when you start saying derogatory words about us. You pick a side, bro. This is not up for debate at the end of the day, because he laid he laid a landmine that I promise you, I'll buy y'all a ticket to go to a Drake show. When he get on that stage and say nigga, I promise you it's gonna feel different now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna
Right.
feel different. Go ahead, Blue.
Right. So, the brother is Kung Fu Kenny. He's a strategic strategist, right? He's breaking them down methodically. And like Red said, it's not a question of race, it's a question of ethnicity because he belongs to a contingency that really think they better than us. You feel me? And they standing on business. So again, we need to know what the mindset is of a person who comes from a particular, you know, a set or a group that are contingent on their supremacy factor. That pretty much shows up in the way that you act when you are in a person's house that you think that you have privilege to. So the level of entitlement shows the way that he helps himself to other people's women. You know what I'm saying? The things that people need to see are spilling out because he has footage saying exactly who he is and what, quote unquote, side he belongs to. So the culture has to say, that war that exists within him that he's the archetype of, what do they think? Do you know what I'm saying? Do they think that them people rock with you? Like, from based on everything that you're seeing right now, right? And what them people are showing you, do you think that they have an entitlement factor? Do you think that they care anything about you? Do
Right.
you think that you're not the op? So how does he reconcile that relationship within himself? It's important at this point that we know, because we obviously are seeing that he's posing. So is he the illest undercover six guard agent? Is they will the illest weapon X? Because
He's
it's
a
the thing that has captured and cultivated and molded the mindscape of the masses of our children in particular, and the target is women. And then he's showing credible evidence that there is in fact, a past of pedophilic activity with this individual, the way that he's grooming little girls.
right.
And that's something that you can now see openly in the reaction that is happening online of his fan base that is doing the research, because the nigga pulled the curt everything that he said in the song he did to him. This is, I'm gonna go to my Cornell with shit. This is this era's ether, because it's a
It is.
slow
It's a slowdown.
burn. You
It
feel
is.
me? It's like getting hit by a flash bomb and your skin slowly start peeling, right? And then the meticulous, methodical, surgical attack launched this morning with 616, right? And the Gemini has now started the mercurial game of getting in the mind of his opponent, utilizing art of war tactics that we just wrote about in the 48 Pillars of Power, art of war, the hip hop handbook,
Facts.
of how he was sowing seeds of dissent by having that man look at his circle in suspicion now. So now he's created real estate in your head that he's permanently occupying in
Oh,
a
Drake
way
is
in which
paranoid. He's
is
paranoid.
and it's now a way
Did
in
you
which
see
is
the
going to
video?
have a physical
Not
manifestation
as
on the body. When the mind is corrupted like that, when the mind is now colonized with, you feel me, like, oh, you know what I mean,
yeah.
He is
Mm.
super. He
a
was with Johnny
methodical.
Dang. He was with Johnny Dang in Houston of all places, right? So he's going
Right,
home
Right.
to his pops and them, right?
right.
And he went and got a grill from Johnny Dang. So I'm like, here he goes with the attempt once again.
Shout out to
He's
Royalty
gonna
Flat. Yeah,
yeah, he's gonna
snake spicy.
cosplay a Houston rapper now because he got the diamond grills and everything, and he's in Houston. But when you should have seen the camera, my dude does not look like the Drake that we know. My dude was looking very unstable in that video, and that was a video of I think today. But then the
Mm.
irony in it is that Rick Ross had a crash landing in Dallas of
Mm,
all places, so they're in the same little area and whatnot, you
Mm.
know.
Wow.
And you know that Bowen talk is an interesting talk because them whistleblowers out of Bowen is getting their shit knocked off. You know what I'm talking about? And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, Blue.
I want to say something, family. Like, we are fathers, businessmen, like responsible members of society. We would not be wasting your time having a mundane conversation about a hip hop battle or a rap battle. This thing is multi-layered, it's multi-tiered, it's multimodal. It's everything that we've been saying it would be, especially now the manifestation of the spiritual implications that have been entered in the conversation, because the decoder's been decoding. So
Indeed.
they went and did the breakdown on the 616, and it was like throwing up mad reference. They was trying to do the Pope Pablo and line the dates up, and they started throwing up mad scriptures. And the joints about the lambs was dope. I was like, yeah, they on point. Remember, we've been talking about the cow and the Taurus and the bull and everything else is going on during this particular time. Oh, by the way, a white buffalo was just born on April 25th
Mm-hmm.
in Texas, of all places. And that fulfills the prophecy, the Hopi prophecy of the return of the white buffalo. I've been wearing white buffalo jewelry all year, the jacket, we got the poncho, and I've been talking about it continuously as part of the prophecy that I feel that, I had a part in playing when I was in Sedona in 22 doing my Blue Kachina ceremonies. I specifically been talking about the white buffalo, but nonetheless, they haven't done the ceremony with the red heifer yet, and then the white buffalo comes. So they're both bovines. They both belong to the Taurian season. We're in the season of Taurus. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh, man.
yeah, so everything is right in alignment. With the time and everything. Um, so they start quoting scripture, and I'm like, it's very key that they were speaking about the lamb and everything. But when I went and looked, this is what Revelation 6:16 says. Y'all ready for this?
Hmm.
Like, think about, I just want you to think about what I've been speaking about in terms of the Black Christos Mythos that Pope Pablo been standing on for 89 weeks here. And I'm like, yo, this is a messianic aspect of what we understand about ourselves. This is not only a culture war, it's an identity war, right? Would a real Christ please stand up? Like, who are you people already? Like, we need to know. And it's coming into question and is now manifested itself into a hip hop battle of the times. So it says those who fall under the wrath of the Lamb would rather be annihilated, destroyed completely, than face the wrath of the God and the Lamb. Their cries, however, will be fruitless. They will face him who sits upon the throne. They will acknowledge the Lamb that was slain. Ugh. And then they got the iconography continuously of him with the thorns. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, he's really playing the mythos out. But when I found this one here, this one spoke directly to it. Proverbs 6:16 says, there are six things the Lord hates. There are six things that the Lord hates, seven that are detestable to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush into evil, a false witness who pours out lies, and a person who stirs up conflict in the community. Now, was this brother not pinpoint on with his observation of how he chose this date in alignment to express a multi-contextual demonstration? But let me show you where the nail in the coffin is at. And that would be Corinthians 6:16. And that one reads, do you not know that he who unites himself with a prostitute is one with her in body? For it is said, the two will become one flesh. And how do two become one? They have a whole seed. That nigga hit him below the belt with that.
Hmm.
Right? Paul confronts Corinthian Christians about issues in the church, including sexual sin and division into fractions. In this verse, Paul urges the Corinthians to live up to their new identities in Christ rather than living down to the culture's sexual immoral standards. And when you add the numbers up, right? 616 is 44 days from now on Pac's birthday.
Mm, mm,
So,
mm.
like I said, I we would never waste, what I'm saying, the people's time. This is all
Yeah,
part
I
of
don't. I don't want you to pay.
continuity.
I didn't ban somebody who said a comment like that. I'm not. Don't pay attention to people who they don't. A person will watch 5 hours
No,
of
no, no,
people
no, no.
talking
Right.
about this topic, and then they'll come on
Yeah.
here saying some shit to throw us off our game. So I don't pay it. Hip hop is one of the most. What's so magnificent, and this is going to go into my next question. Hip
Mhm.
hop is one of the most powerful forces in the world. You know what it's like to create a force as powerful as hip hop from a people from that came from what we came from. That speak When black people do what they do, it stops the world. You see how the world stops. You know, not many people could stop the world the way we stop the world. That's a gift.
Hell no.
That's not an insult to
Bro,
anybody else, but we stop the world when we do so. When Mayweather
brother.
fights, he stops the world. Whenever we do something, we stop the entire world. And that's going to get it going to my next question that I want to ask, because I was talking about the hip hop media outlets. And in terms of being a hip hop cultural critic, this thing is wide. The game is wide open now. It's not like the 90s where it's a Source, Vibe, a couple of publications. There's a lot of hip hop cultural critics who have millions of followers who are not Black Americans. There's a big conversation happening right now. Tariq Nasheed is coming out with a documentary called Microphone Check, in which he's correcting, debunking a lot of lies that he said. And I don't know, both sides. I don't never paid attention to it like that. But he's debunking stories that he say aren't true about the origin of hip hop and Jamaicans creating hip hop and Hispanics creating hip hop. So I can't wait to see that documentary. But what I want to ask you is that I seen Kai Cenat say what he said about Black Americans don't have no culture. And I told Red on one of the last shows, it's the weirdest shit in the world, because he's literally in the middle of our culture right now, making millions upon millions of dollars off of what Black Americans created. So it was real disrespectful, but he's a young brother, so I understand. I didn't take it personal or nothing like that. But what are your thoughts on Black Americans hip hop, and should we gatekeep hip hop? Because that is the conversation that is coming up now, where we need to gatekeep the culture, because anybody, Adam 22 is out there, Vlad is out there, Kai Cenat's out there. We don't have culture, and he's in the middle of our shit. Imagine me being in the middle of Afrobeat saying, hey, you know what? Y'all niggas ain't got no culture. And I'm doing critiques on Afrobeats making millions of dollars. Kids will get my black ass. They would say, you American nigga, if you don't, you know what I'm saying? So what's your thoughts about the idea of gatekeeping and hip hop being a Black American culture that has just been completely taken over by every other ethnicity?
Well, I mean, we can clearly look at hip hop and see that it's colonized. And the people who are colonized at the top, it reflects in the quote unquote, once again, the media, the mouthpiece that extend from them, because they control the narrative. They sit
Right.
on the top of the conversations that are taking place, and they narrate, right? When you go to Vlad, he's reading from a script. He's getting a profile with each person. How was your household? Was your parents there? Were two parents there? How did it grow up? Was there food in the fridge?
Mm-hmm.
It's you're creating a dossier. You can go back. He can take all of his files in 20 or 30 years and do psychological, analysis
Profiles.
on profiles on what made rappers rappers. They're gonna go into true crimes later on to see what made people tick and what have you. So
Mm-hmm.
these people are quote unquote sitting in position where they control the waves of the conversation, the narration of the conversations. They said that they consist of the big three: Vlad, Adam, right? And what they throw academics
Joe
in there.
Button.
Joe Buttons, yeah, they throw Joe Buttons in there as the top of media. And
Mm-hmm.
No, it was
you
Joe
know,
Buttons, Adam, and
yeah,
Vlad. And Adam, I know it was Joe Button, Vlad, and Act. And then the boy Adam was trying to get in there.
right. But still, when we look at a portion of media, a media platform that on the West Coast, that's a very
Yeah, yeah, it's a
that's that
staple.
that yeah, it's a staple, it's a nexus.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's where they still a lot of conversations and narratives get generated from that. So they're sitting in position, I guess, as overseers of the colonizers. Because the truth of the matter is that we may have a culture, but if you don't control the commerce in the culture, and the culture, we don't put culture before commerce, nor do we control the commerce. So that's a double negative. Let me say that again.
Mm-hmm.
We're
What?
not disciplined enough where we put culture before commerce. What does that look like? yo, I know the value of what 1527 would represent. I know the value of what these different relics that might be
Landmarks.
floating around the planet for auction. I know, you know what I'm saying, that you can't put a price tag on some of the things that have to be retrieved that you can't put quote, you know, whose values exceed any cost. So that's what people with culture do. You feel me? So we got a culture in name alone. We don't have a culture in practice, nor do we control the commerce. We don't control no transactions in the culture. We might be doing business in the culture, but we're not in the business of culture, nor are we the people at the top making the money from the business of culture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're just people, again, you know, if they're in the quote unquote industry, they don't own their voice, they don't own their likeness. You know what I'm saying? AI is gonna put them out of a job soon. You know, there's gonna be somebody's gonna push the line and be like, nah, I'm not gonna cease and desist. You feel me? Why would I? Because you don't own that voice. It's a derivation of a voice that first you don't own, and then it's a replica. You know, that thing is gonna go to where it's gonna go to. But you know, the emphasis has to be, I guess, going forward on artists to have independence. They
Right.
can really say, yo, I own my likeness, I own my voice. I can say certain things because these artists are not going to be able to make music this reflective of the things that are going on in America right now. They can't truly talk about what's taking place on the TV screens or around the world. You can't name me one song that these people have made reflecting what took place last October. It don't exist.
And the
So,
reason why,
right. So now the same lobbyists that are in Congress passing the laws are the same lobbyists that are connected to the corporations, the owner record companies. Right? So that'll never take place over there on that plantation. So I think yes, I think that hip hop has been colonized, and this is the final squelching of the voice of it. And AI will come out on the other end of this because
Well,
this is
well,
usual
Blue, the question
suspects.
was, should Black Americans gatekeep it?
I would say I wouldn't
We
use the word gatekeep. I would use the word vanguard.
Okay.
Right. I feel that I feel that along with reparations, if you're taking your power back, you take your culture back. Stake the claim and take the culture back and license it willingly to other nationalities. We don't want to close our fist and whatnot, but we have to vanguard our culture because if not for nothing, this battle has shown us unequivocally, because keep in mind, each one of those artists have to get approved to release a song. They just can't drop a song. They don't have the freedom of a yay to just put something out. Both artists are underneath the quote unquote leadership and rulership of Lucian, right? Both of them. Universal stocks is going crazy right now. I'm talking about off the chain. They brought back this quote unquote business. They brought the business back, not the art form in so many ways, but you know, battle rap is here, but they're not even calling it battle rap. They're not even highlighting battle rap. They tried to say that Kendrick was biting the battle rappers by showing clips of
Yeah,
battle
ain't that
rappers
something?
battling. And I'm like, he's not biting the battle rappers, he's studying the battle rappers, and the man is battle rapping. You know, they've used Park and Son in battle raps 100 times.
right.
They've
Oh, they
used the
said he tried
YN
to bite
Melly.
that.
Yeah, they tried to say
They,
Park
they
and
was
Son.
coming for Kendrick.
Calico said that. Listen, he's a battle. Both of them are battle rapping aficionados and whatnot.
Right.
So they are battle rapping. This is not. They dudes are trying to look for a club song to twerk to. These men, these sassy niggas. They want to get a Drake song to dance to. And I'm like, this is battle rap. They making songs to listen to
Yeah.
feel.
But he was the first artist that successfully made a battle rap dance song, and he
No,
did
I
that.
know he did,
You know
and
what I'm
he
saying?
set the
So
standards, and that's
they
what they're
expect something like that from him.
anticipating
Yeah, they
from him.
anticipate
Right,
that.
right. That's what they want, and you know that's what they're gonna get because that's what he's gonna deliver them. But when I played push-ups alongside Euphoria with all of that
Hmm.
dancing and all of that popcorn, there was no poetry in it. There was no double entendres. He was really being a chatty patty. He was talking about the man's shoe size. He was talking about the splits. If he make a split, his pants is split. When you break it down and read the lyrics, that's why genius.com, the website, crashed. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because the journalists are failing us. Why? Because hip-hop journalism is compromised. You should not have to go to Genius if these sites were doing their job and whatnot. And explaining, if you don't see the biasness in this battle when it comes to both artists, then I don't know what to tell you. All of the platforms like Complex, the majority of them that belong to the boys' ethnicity, either they don't want to report about homie, they don't want to report about Kendrick, they're giving him lackluster coverage, or when they mention him, they try to downplay it by putting homeboy in the equation. Let's see what Drake is going to do next. I wonder what Drake is thinking. Did you see Drake's answer? Drake made a meme. Like, all of that is uncalled for, because when Kendrick wasn't saying nothing, all of these same platforms was like, oh yeah, Kendrick is gone. He's scared. He's running. But my thing is this. Homie was talking like he had a Scud missile. He ended off push-ups with a new track. So why didn't you beat Rick Ross's record of Firing Back after Homie dropped the track? You supposed to release the jump off. And for the record, the 616 that he released today, right? Kendrick, the like Blue Pill said, 4 layers of chess. That is a response to the AI track that Homie caught an L for because he had to take it down because it didn't work. But that's Kendrick saying, while I'm waiting for you to respond, I'm gonna throw this one out too to knock that other AI stuff out the box. So Kendrick is up 3-1. The like that verse, nobody answered that. Push-ups slaps. Right. Push-ups is Drake's round 1. If this was battle rap, Drake goes first, right? And we all know with battle rap, it really depends on who goes first and who goes last. You know when Jay-Z got on stage and said X Nas, he don't want it with Hov. That was like that. That's what the like that verse was. That was me calling you out and starting to say, let's get into a battle, right? So round number 1 is push-ups, and Drake answered first. Round number 1 is Euphoria. That is Kendrick's answer to push-ups, and he beat that. Round 1.5 is, what was the name of the Drake verse with Pac?
Tailor Made.
Round 1.5 is Tailor Made and 616. He bodied that with 616. There's no discussion. So theoretically, if he beats, because there's 3 rounds in a battle, right? There's 3 rounds. If you win 2, you won. So this next round 2 that Drake drops is going to be a haymaker, more than likely. It's going to be something that you niggas could twerk to. And then K-Dot has to come in to follow up. And if he decisively bodies him in round number 2, there's no need for a 3, because in battle rap, that once you 2-0, let's just see if he's going to 3-0 him. But once you up 2, it's a wrap. And he's up 1.5.
Right.
Let me ask y'all: is Drake one of the greatest of all time when it comes to this hip hop thing?
Yes, he's one of the greatest pop stars of all time.
Hip hop. No, don't dodge the question, Red. Is Drake one of the greatest hip hop artists of all time?
I'm gonna let Blue answer that first.
Oh, Red,
don't shirk it. You answer.
I say yes. Yes.
I would say yes. Hip hop is the culture, rap is the music, right? He exemplifies, tenets of the culture, but I'm a little, I'm that's a tricky one, man. That's a tricky one, because I would say there's no artist that we can identify outside of, I don't know, who could really fit the mold of hip hop. He created a new genre called hip hop. We have to re-examine if this is all hip hop. This is hip hop. This is really popular culture. This is a blending of singing, harmonizing, rapping, and but it is hip hop. So he is one of the greatest hip hop artists. Let me go there.
Yeah, I literally been.
They said he is scam artist.
Yes. Is Will Smith one of the greatest hip hop artists of all time?
I don't think so. No, not in my opinion.
Okay.
Blue, you want to answer that, or you want me to go on, Blue? You got to.
Oh no, I definitely want to answer that.
Yeah. Is he one of the goats
I
in our
have,
culture?
observed the gentleman from the very beginning. I've been writing about him since, his inception. Um, and I must say that from then to now, he has accomplished some monumental feats as a hip hop artist. So we're speaking about his artistry, right? His ability to create art. It is by far one of, yes, that he has amassed one of the greatest catalogs and achieved some of the highest feats. And in a career that this individual has been able to manifest through time. Now he's caught in his art because at some point, you have to be able to separate the art that you do from the person that you are. And I think that he's just at that particular point in time that you get lost sometime, in your own narrative, and you just get lost in the art. I think that he's that good of an artist that he's lost himself in his art, and he's
Mm,
lost, who Aubrey
mm,
is.
mm.
And this is what Kendrick is reminding him of, that yes, you are an actor and an artist, and you have achieved the pinnacle, of what operating in blackface. He comes from them people who, that's how they set it off. He has achieved it in acting and in rap. Because remember, and in music, he didn't just stop acting to go and do entertainment. He took the acting with him into entertainment because that's
He's
how
an
he left
entertainment actor.
Degrassi. Yes, he left on the wheelchair, Jimmy Brooks wanting to go into music. You know what I'm saying? And then they fed him a year or two later as an artist. And again, I was a gatekeeper in the industry at that time when he first came through with the tape in '07, '08. And I only say that because I was at Epic, but I heard the tape before um so far so far gone. And he was a super nice backpack rapper
He
where he
was.
actually had elements of consciousness in him. And I made at least 2 or 3 phone calls on his behalf around the industry to see if people was willing to sign him because he was mad nice as a backpack rapper in like '07, '08. When I was in position with the Nipsey situation. And then he had got on all the way to the point where he got to even link with Nipsey and they made a song called Killer. So I was like, okay, he's in the game just before Wayne. So I've seen this individual like before all of that come through in the way that he was able to put on that persona because he's still the dude that came from Degrassi and he
But
walked himself all the way through. I was telling somebody earlier, I was like, I got a picture floating around where I was in VIP with Drake, Kanye, and Amber Rose, and there was another shorty. I forgot which one, because Ye was with Amber Rose and Drake was with our homegirl. Damn, who was her homegirl? I can't remember that last part of the equation, but nonetheless, you know, yeah, yeah. His artistry,
Blue,
yeah.
one of our goats they say was also an actor and brought acting into hip hop. One of the greatest of all time, Tupac. I'm not saying I believe it, but he
No,
gets accused a
both of
lot
them,
of
Eh,
being an
big,
actor
big,
and
big
not
and
and trying
pop.
to be what's the dude from Bishop and
Bishop.
Yo,
trying to bring
He
Bishop.
was in
So
character.
shout
yeah,
out
so
to A.A.
I'm
Rashid,
not saying he
right?
was. I'm not saying I believe that. I'm not saying that, but a lot
Shout
of
out
Look,
to
people will
A.A.
say that.
Rashid. Hold on. A.A. Rashid would tell you direct narratives about Fat Chris, who's Christopher Wallace or B.I.G. He was in character. That
Who
wasn't that.
big? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah,
he was in character. His mom said he was a teddy bear. Everybody that know him know that he was a teddy bear.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was character. And the
But he was
same with Pop.
Big wasn't acting like a tough guy, right? He wasn't.
He
Big
was
wasn't
acting
acting
like
like
a
a
Bro,
tough
big
he's
guy.
Willie. He
considered a
was acting
gangster
like
A
a
big
rapper.
Charles
Will. Okay.
Kingston, and his mama didn't know him for selling crack at all. He was selling. He was a hand-in-hand hustler, selling shit out of an abandoned building where you stick your hand out of fucking hole and give people dime
Yeah.
bags. He wasn't a big
Yeah.
Willie. He wasn't a boss. That's why when Jay-Z comes along who lived down the block and whatnot, he took the persona or the character of a bigger than a hand-to-hand hustler, a Willie. So all rappers are in character. I mean, that's their persona. Nobody is, even the minute you put a name on the minute you say I'm Marshall Mathers and now I'm Eminem theoretically is a character. You're not Eminem in the house, bruh. So all of these artists are characters. Everybody on the internet is a character. Okay? Hey, everybody got a mask on. Everybody's in character. So let's stop making character seem like that's a flaw. Everybody's in character. I'm not. Everybody's in character.
Well, let me ask you this. Why do y'all think Drake was so bold? I just mentioned Tupac as being one of the GOATs. He's a god in hip hop. He's hip hop god royalty, god tier rapper. What would make Drake so bold to dig up a dead artist that has passed away, one of our hip hop gods, one of our GOATs, and use him in a diss record against the LA dude, and also use Snoop Dogg's voice in the same? Don't you think that take a lot of balls? That's like mighty disrespectful to not only the living, but to the arrogance to the deceased, to the family of Tupac. I mean, that's a level of, I don't know how to describe that.
Entitlement.
What gave him that audacity?
Right.
What gave him that audacity?
And no disrespect to none of my Canadians out there. It's all love. I'm gonna see y'all at the border. Hey, give me a hug. But the man is tone deaf.
Well, what you
That's
mean?
what they're talking about in these songs.
Okay.
It's a glaring example of his tone deafness, right? In the middle of a battle where you're being accused. I mean, we don't know why everybody don't like him. We don't know why they say we don't trust you no more. But I promise you that he does. You understand? There's nobody who somebody is at war with and they don't know why they at war with them. He knew from the gate that the conflict had to do with this nigga's entitlement. The fact that he's tone deaf, he can't read the room about certain things. He was getting too big-headed. He began to think that he could do just anything. And he's out here collecting artifacts like Infinity Stones and desecrating them of the culture. He melted down.
He bought Tupac ring, right?
He bought Tupac ring. That's where Kendrick was like, he was like, I'm about to double the wage because there's no way a Canadian dude is going to have Pac rolling in his grave. Because what he's doing is he's wearing a ringer. He's wearing Pac's ring with fingernail polish.
Oh man. Oh man.
So you see the tone deafness in it all. Pac is a revolutionary. Pac was about a certain type of thing. Pac went to war against Diddy and Bad Boy because he seemed was too effeminate.
Right.
Pac was standing on certain type of morals in his character. I don't care if he had long eyelashes in real life. In his character, he was like, I'm standing up for men. I'm on my Mike Tyson-ish. You feel me?
Right.
I'm not gonna be on the wrong side of history. I'm not going metrosexual. And others did, right? Others did. That was the first conflict that you saw going down in this industry where people were wrestling. It was a battle of the ages. This is the same battle right here. If he takes down Kendrick, or Lord forbid something happens where violence is entered into this equation, then it's all gonna go haywire, right? But I promise you, you gotta understand who you're dealing with when it comes to the sixth guard. The people who are invested in him, his people, and what they play dirty. They play dirty. If you back them up against the wall, and it seems like he's about to lose it all, he's gonna pull a dirty one. So
let me Red. Now I'm gonna say something. I'm sorry to cut you off, Red. Somebody had wrote this comment. I just want to bring spirituality into the conversation real quick tonight and get your opinions on it. Both of y'all being from Brooklyn. This brother said he bought Tupac ring to conjure up his spirit on some necromancy shit. I seen an interview recently. I think it was Beanie Siegel, where he said Hove, when he went in the booth, he threw on Big's Jesus piece.
Jesus
And once he
peace.
threw on
Channel
Big G,
him.
he would, he started mumbling to himself, and he ain't writing nothing down. Now we
Right.
all know that was Big's thing, not writing nothing down. So here comes Jay. He wears the jewelry, which has some of the energy Big on it, and is able to do the same thing.
Right. If
Fast forward, real quick, Drake gets Tupac ring. You know what I'm saying? Talk to me
Now he
about
tough.
what is this about for people who may not know how the spirit thing work, where you wearing jewelry and all of a sudden, you emulating the person that's jewelry that used to belong to.
Look, they tell you don't leave your comb in nobody's house. They say don't let people touch your jewelry. If somebody was able to buy this from my wife, Lord forbid something happened to me and this becomes an heirloom, this is copper, Rich, right? Or my energy. If these bracelets could talk, the shit that these bracelets been through, bro, the things that these bracelets seen, if my jewelry could talk, it has absorbed life force energy in a form of quartz crystal, platinum, white gold, copper. All of these are encapsulated. My energy is consecrated in these artifacts. That's why they call heirlooms. They're relics and whatnot.
The relics,
He could
right?
conjure the energy from that.
Powerful.
Like a piece like this. You know what I'm saying? This hand woven is already telling a cosmic narrative. Like a piece like this, that comes from Nepal, right? They got their mythology encased in their artwork. You feel me? All of this is already telling the story, but then it's additionally added to my story because they like, yeah, I seen that on Blue when he was on such and such. You feel me? So it's these things that become relics that are identified with either one of your experiences, the fact that it has your energy encased in it, or it's telling, it's multi-tiered, it's telling a story. That ring that Pac got, the 5-point ring, is, Pac, and that's not even a 5-pointed star that all of the other rappers have duplicated. That was just the crown piece. So he immerses himself and embellishes himself in the spirit of these particular characters because he always goes into character. And he has a fascination with Pac, I think specifically because Pac was a thespian that was in character, and he knows Pac was in character.
As a thespian,
And like I said, you can lose yourself in a role and find yourself there as well. Sometimes people lose themselves only to find themselves in a role. Like you have to lose yourself sometimes in order to find yourself in the role. Like, oh, that's who I was all along. I thought I was playing a role, but this was the role of a lifetime because this was about me to begin with.
It was role written for you. Some people gotta walk into their roles or their characters.
Right? So
very good point, Blue. Very good point.
It's the artistry aspect of these artists are getting lost in character. And then people are attempting to bring them back from level 3. And then some people is like, nah, I like it down here. And then corporations are like, no, we need them down there. You feel me? And then they always have these stories. The artist's fan base is always trying to get the old version of them back, and they gone. They like, I don't even know who that person is. Yes.
I want to put on the record that carbon, or what you would call diamonds, right? These diamonds that are mined in the quote unquote conditions of the Congo and places, right?
Right.
That oppressive energy of the miners who are dying inside of the mines, they get crushed, they have to swallow diamonds sometimes. All of this atrocities going on in places like Africa and Central America and South America. So when you see people in the States with those diamonds on getting murked, right, getting their shit pushed back, getting killed, always bringing some type of bad energy is drawn to these people who are dripping in diamonds and whatnot. You have to ask yourself, are those blood diamonds, is that carbon encapsulating that quote unquote trauma and that pain and that death from the people who are handling it? And then the people that are cutting it and doing whatever they're doing, their hands are not clean either. So all of these hands are on top of these diamonds that you're wearing on your chain and your watch and your ring. And then all of these negative things that happen in the people that are iced out. All of these things are happening because niggas is dying with their diamonds on. It ain't even like they just robbing people.
So look at this.
Another good point. Another good point. Very good
blood
point.
Diamonds with blood money.
Yeah, blood money.
then won't that equal blood? And then people end up bloody for their diamonds because now somebody want to rob it and snatch it.
Right.
And if the cycle continues, it's like Nas can make a song about it. It's like the Gap.
Let me ask y'all this. We had something called the Verses a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Considering what Drake offers and brings to the game with the R&B and the hip hop, who would y'all pick in a Versus battle? Drake or LL Cool J? 20 rounds.
Nobody's beating LL Cool J.
Nobody's fucking with LL. The energy, bro.
Energy.
Yeah, I went to see him at Rock the Bells last year. His energy is unreal. And
Unreal, huh?
He did 2 sets. That's how many hits he had. He had 2 segments. He did one, stopped and let somebody else go, and came back and did a whole nother set for another hour and change. Non-stop, like motion, moving. He got form, motion movements. Like he ain't standing still for nothing. And he got hit after hit after hit. And you really understand that he is aspect of a GOAT that people may overlook, but he's one of the baddest to do it in the genre. In terms of, again, we're looking at accomplishments. How well was someone able to craft a narrative, create a lane, and traject themselves generation after generation where they have an impact? And we see a aspect of them going on their hero's journey, and they're making art from that and cased around that. So with LL to me is a hip hop god. You feel me?
Look, a carbon copy can't beat the source. Drake drew from other artists to become Drake, right? And not to say that LL did not. I'm sure that he did. But LL is source. He's primal source, right? There's no LL before LL.
Right.
You feel me? So he'll be able to channel a lot of that primal force energy. He's an energy god. He is a master performer, and he, them hits, bro. Them hits is
Remember when LL battled Cannabis? Remember Cannabis was supposed to be like the new greatest lyricist out,
right?
You know what I mean?
He's supposed to be him.
Yeah.
Till he ran up against that microphone and that arm. It was different.
No,
that battle was different. You know what I'm saying?
It was so now the boy, now Drake got all of the blogs posting all of this sassy, aggressive stuff, caution signs, nuclear bomb shelter things, and everything.
All types of, man.
It's coming tonight. You know what I mean? It's coming tonight.
Oh yeah. Shout out to everybody. I haven't had a time to shout y'all out, but shout out to everybody with the super chats. Just been in my zone talking in red and blue. It's been a great show. We
$1 million question.
Yes,
because we both know these ladies men, right? They Galchesters.
Yes.
What song goes up against I Need Love? Because that's when he comes out his shit. You know what I mean? What song does Drake have? And we talking about I Need Love, melting the paint off the wall. Let's say
I'm gonna find your loving. I'm gonna tap my on. What's the high go? Family, tell me what's the name of that one?
Is that Passion?
No, that's not that one.
What can he sing with his shirt off? What is it? The braids? What can he sing with his shirt off?
Is it Find Your Love?
Find Your Love. There you go.
Yeah, might have been that, but no, I get what you're saying though. I get you.
Bling. Even Hotline Bling with the dance and everything to go with it up against I Need Love. There goes your answer.
I better find your love. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I get what you're saying though, Red. Shit, 5, 4, 3. I mean, there's some tracks LL got. But I mean, they're both in the same lane. But like you said, I agree that LL's energy is probably the deal breaker. You know what I'm saying? I think that. Yeah,
he believes it.
Yeah,
Drake took a while to believe what he was rapping.
Yeah, indeed.
Do
you think that with okay? So we're saying Drake is an actor, right? Well, I'm not saying y'all saying I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I hear people's points, and y'all might be right. I think y'all might be right to a certain extent.
Right. I'm saying
what I want to know is if you're an actor and you feeding off other people's energy, right? Say you feeding off other people's energy to to try to act a certain way, culture vulturing or whatever.
Yeah.
You remove the energy from him. Rick Ross gets removed from him. Whoever, everybody he's beefing with, Kanye gets removed from him. Or most of these rappers slowly but surely get removed from Drake. Does energetically, can Drake still reproduce the energy that he has been producing in hip hop for the past 10 years? Can he still produce that without these black melanated beings around him? Does his energy completely change because he's not around these individuals no more? How does this thing work energetically speaking?
Where's that nigga from Memphis that was doing the juke? Woo, Block Boy JB. He gonna have to find all of these C and D rappers. He gonna have to scrape the bottom of the barrel and just hit him with the stimulus package, because that is a great question that you asked, my good brother. Mm-hmm. They were accusing this man of the stimulus package, giving all of these men number ones. Right. And they were being facetious because they did not say what Drake received in return.
Good point.
Album Billboard said that there was a trade-off to go number one on Billboard with Lil Durk. Please believe. There was a trade-off to write with Rick Ross at the height of his career, when you couldn't walk through Carroll City. You couldn't even go to Club Live and run around Miami the way that you ran around them. You aligned yourself with people who gave you a visa for those features and whatnot. That's what you was sharing with people. Future gave you a visa to Magic City. He gave you a work visa to Follies and whatnot. He gave you a work visa. You got a work visa to New York City by rocking with the right people and whatnot. You got a work visa to come to Atlanta for rocking with Thugger and them. That's and what you got.
Remember, and he honorary Dipset. They said
you. That's what New York gave him, honorary Dipset, by doing what?
Blue, you're right.
By putting them on. That. Yeah, by bigging them up, by giving them a resuscitation. Right. And that had to do with Weezy and whatnot. Weezy's relationship with them, it just trickled over to Homie. So,
so you know the shit.
It's street cred. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Blue. What somebody who is selling number one albums but is getting peed on, somebody that's selling number one albums but can't really get right with the ladies like that, somebody who's going number one but he's wild awkward when you bring him around. What will he set? What is his ultimate goal? To be accepted, to let the braids grow, to be cool, to fit in. You know what I mean? So what did they give him? They gave him the pass. So he can never say about, oh, I gave you your first number one. The way that my metrics work, that pass is worth more than that number one, fam. How about that? Because they could take your number one shit away from you, but when you get your hood pass revoked, my nigga, and you got a no-fly zone in certain areas, that's a bad feeling.
Yeah,
that's a bad feeling. So, nah, I don't want to hear it. It was a trade-off, fair exchange, no robbery.
And when I think about it, because we're mentioning how many people he has hits with. And then we're thinking about the level of entitlement or selfishness. How many of them were featured on the tour? Is he extending opportunities for these people to shine and to eat with these features? Or are they skipping all of them songs? Nobody's getting a check for none of these appearances and these tours? That's a lot of songs. Like, I'm thinking about everybody he done collab with ain't rocking with him. It is everybody. Like, all of them hits is gone. So I'm like, what type of show, what type of performances you gonna have? Because who's gonna show up for you now? But you got the industry behind your back. You got the executives. You got your
bloggers.
You got the bloggers. You're gonna have some young women, and then it's gonna be, they're causing that aspect of the women questioning, yo. Because he was going after Ice Spice and she blew him up. She's like, yo, he was a lame and she didn't give him the box. And that's why she feel that she got cut. That's what he been trying to do all along. But it's like, a lot of these women are showing up to be very young women. You know what I mean? And homie don't know how to deal with rejection. It's the level, once again, of entitlement that he exemplifies that it is almost the energy that you get from them people. You feel me? So you
Heard
can
you.
move around stepping on whatever you want to step on, acting in an immoral nature, right? Again, you throwing that up as your gang, but you're not abiding by the tenets of what that means as a spiritual system or religion.
Indeed.
You dropping dishes on the Sabbath, bro. Come
You know,
on.
earlier we brought up the shout out to everybody in the chat. We got over 2,200 people in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. It's been an amazing show so far. If you came in late, you definitely should watch the whole show at a later time. You might not want to rewind now, but I definitely advise you to watch this show in its entirety. We just been going in from the jump. Thank Red and Blue once again for coming on the platform. This is their third week in a row on the platform. It almost feels like 2016 again or something like that.
Yes,
what I want to ask y'all, we started out the show with the controversy of who should or should not say the N-word, and biracial people being triggered by Kendrick implying that Drake can't say it anymore because of him being biracial, even though he never used the word biracial. Then we also talked about the foundation of hip hop. What I want to ask you, I'm just curious, how do you feel this hip hop culture growing up in America, in the hip hop culture? How do you feel about Hispanics using the N-word?
Again, my observation and my response to the first question was, it was not a biracial issue or a race issue. I think that conversation has already been qualified. That we know that people that are racially ambiguous, as well as people who share and participate in aspects of the culture with us, they also conform to that identity, because we all been thrown in that, when it comes time to get thrown in that pot and you look around, that's the people in the pot with you. That's the people that they trying to pee on in the pot. So a New York Puerto Rican utilizing that terminology is a little bit more, for me, understood. Again, because then it changes. For me on the West Coast, hearing a Mexican say it, it's a little bit more aggressive, because it might come with a disrespect that's intended.
With an ER.
Because they want that smoke, right? And because there's a contention over there. It wasn't necessarily a contention over here until you got to jail. And then there was a separation. Even if y'all was cool on the street, when you got behind the wall in New York, the Nietas was over there, and the Latin Kings was over there, and you was over where you was at, and y'all couldn't connect anyway. So there was divisions that was caused based on separation from, being part of that, being in the system within the system. And then it spills into the street. So that was orchestrated, because within hip hop, what we witnessed early in the Bronx is that there was a connection, and there was a oneness, and they were there at the inception, and they did have a role in the participation, because it was culture, or it was subculture for that fact. Because like I said, we're calling things culture, but if we understand the definition of culture, by definition, it's really not a culture. We do not control the main tenants, specifically the commerce, but yes, I do think that they have a right and they have access. And the conflict when it came to him is like, would you let Jonah Hill say the word?
I don't even, who's that? You said who?
Jonah Hill.
I don't even know who that is.
The actor, the comedian that comes from the movies, Superbad,
yeah,
and all that.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even watch movies like that. I don't even know who that is.
But what if Lyle Cohen came on Drink Champs one day? He was just throwing it around, right? There would be a level of uncomfortability, right?
Right.
And it is not because of his race, because he's olive. People don't know what he is. They identify him through his ethnicity. So that's where it's weird. If you remove the veneer of homie in Memphis, if you remove his pitly, because he don't identify with that, only when advantageous. They have the charging documents to show what he said when he first came in his interview with Peter Rosenberg. He was clear. He was like, "Yo, I'm part of the Six Guard contingency." You know what I'm saying? And that's what I represent. I was raised as such. I was trained as such. I'm programmed as such. I know the protocols of such. I'm moving as such. And he's like, yo, we got the key to the city for you. We about to open the door and let you in because you a real one. You passed the test, he said.
Passed the test,
You
right?
passed the test. And
He
this was
wasn't
before he
no
even got
poser,
started. They
right?
had that conversation. And this is what we was reporting on since 2008 and 2009 when we found out about him. Because they said he's the new religion. I said, how, Sway? Do you see
Right.
what they doing here? He's a Scorpio. That means he's going straight for the ladies. It's a wrap. So I'm like, okay, this is how they're going to manipulate the brainwaves because the materialism was already set in place. The femininity in hip hop was already mandated by the culture, which became metrosexual and overtly expressive in six God energy or six-pointed energy by Puff and Big, who brought in the lower form of six God energy through Catholicism, specifically through that same Jesus piece that I'm telling you about, that you telling me that Beanie Siegel said that Jay-Z was utilizing to conjure Big because what? He consecrated that piece. And he consecrated the ideology that goes along with that piece of people who believe that their God is white will destroy their own people for $1 because they don't see the value in them.
Red, you want to answer that real quick before we get to the next one?
Kind of like what Blue said, you know.
Yeah,
I would be, yeah, I'm a New Yorker, bro. You already like,
yeah. I grew up
y'all not
around a
from New
bunch.
York and y'all don't know what it is, but I'm a New York. I would not get on this internet and start hummer stunting for y'all and not keep it 1,000. Like Puerto Ricans that we grew up with, they say nigga, you know what I mean? And I don't have no problem with that because that's where we from. Bottom line, like that shit don't bother me. They not saying ER, they saying my nigga this, my nigga that. And these is Puerto Ricans who get down dirty with us. They all, you know what I mean? We done shared quarter waters together, chicken wings, fried rice. Like
that's the other thing. And I guess from New Yorkers, we have that perspective. It's like y'all got the wrong concept of friends. We got allies. We got relationship with certain groups and ethnicities because they put in work in a particular field that we know that
that's
they
the
good
fact.
for. And all of that stuff is not for the blogs. So it's like y'all talking about like the neighbors that you can go and get it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, and there is culture and ethnicity. You learn so much about them as a people by being in their proximity, but you also be niggering with them doing nigger shit.
Let me ask y'all this to move on because I want to get some questions from the people in a little while. Why, you know, we're watching pretty much everybody who's beefing in this rap beef, hip hop beef, whatever you want to call it, is over 35. I think Drake born in 86, Kendrick born in 87, Ross in his 40s, Future in his 40s. I think the youngest person is actually Young Metro. He's 30. And he's the producer. He's not even a rapper. But young Kanye's about 45, 46. These are all, every one of them are superstars. Yes. Why aren't there's no 20-something-year-old superstars, it seems. Why can't they're not, the machine isn't pumping out superstars like they used to. Why can't the machine, I think they tried desperately with Ice Spice. Hold on, Blue, come down, Blue. They tried desperately with Ice Spice. I don't think it worked the way it didn't work the way they wanted it to work, but they can't pump out superstars, whether it's pop, hip hop, any genre. It's hard for them to pump them out. Why is that? We got the 40-year-olds still holding it down, stopping the world.
Yeah. We fail to realize that they wiped out a whole pantheon of them.
Explain that, Blue. What do you mean? Explain that, my brother. What do you mean?
The drill.
A whole pantheon.
Red, feel free. We could go Ray and Ghost with this. You know what I'm saying? On Styles and Jada. There was a whole laundry list of littles and youngs that got wiped out. Like 200 plus of them got killed. So the dudes who would be young and under 30, even the artists that will position younger rappers to be pinnacle players, because the youngsters have to get the direction from an OG to come up. You're just not going to be able to break through the ceiling these days and touch that level of bread. It's just not happening like that no more. They're really building out a hierarchy because they're showing you, even with the Diddy situation, that's the pinnacle. There's a pinnacle to this. There's a top to the pyramid, and then there's layers. The head has fallen, has it not?
Right.
So is there not a vacuum?
Right.
So what does this say about nature?
Nature, what? It fills up the vacuum or
Fills
something?
all vacuum.
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
are we seeing right now?
Right.
Mm.
Hmm? Are we not seeing a reshuffling, a reshaping, and a
Yeah.
restructuring? And it happens from the tiers based on seniority of the people who were closest to quote unquote the pinnacle of the top. Now they're moving out the two main pillars of what that represent, both of them with the initials of SC. One by one, those pillars are falling. Those are the gatekeepers. They're held up. The illusion of this quote unquote industry from the corporate perspective of it, where they became the two billionaires. There's the big three in hip hop. There's three of them. Who are the three Bs? Who are the big three in hip hop in terms of sitting at the
Dre.
pinnacle,
It
right?
was Dre, Jay, and Diddy.
Right. So expect to see him in the mix very soon as well, playing a pinnacle role because this is his artist, right? This is his artist in the mix, jockeying and vying now for position. So he's going to strategically put Dre in position to, honorarily receive the throne once these other two are dethroned. You feel
Right.
me? So,
Um,
yeah.
what this conflict is also showing me, Blue, is that since the rise of Drake in 2010, there's
Mhm.
been that's a definable era, right? So that era from 2010 to where we are right now in 24, it's been pure Drake dominance from his sound to all of the different collaborations and things of that nature. Like you said earlier, a lot of the young ones, we got Pop Smoke, we got Triple X and Tentacion,
Mhm.
these were the messianic ones.
It was the one.
Um, they were the ones that were supposed to usher in Mac Miller as for his for his demographics and whatnot. A lot of the younger ones, unfortunately, who had that star potential and who
Right.
had a very strong messianic force. Go ahead.
Yeah. Even King Vaughn. Yeah.
King Vaughn, where he was bringing in and whatnot. When they all got taken out, Drakeo, the ruler, I mean, there's literally 200. Some of them are unknown, some of them are like local, but in the year 2020, literally 200 plus got murked, right?
Yeah.
Car crashes, overdoses, but most of them was shots. So
Right. Juice World.
Juice World, right? The
He would have been
potentiality,
leading the pack. Yeah.
he would have been leading a lot of the pack. So the potentiality is being taken away from, just look at all of the rosters on Empire. When you lost Dolph and when you lost
And Dolph,
Nipsey,
yeah.
you understand? When you lost Nipsey and Dolph, you there was a void that was created. Remember, they were leading their generation, but they were also reaching back. Homie was pulling Rowdy Rich into the mix. You
Mhm.
feel me? Dolph had all of these artists signed to him. What's his cousin and all of them other Key
Right.
Glock and all of them other dudes out of Memphis. They was bringing all of them in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I wanted, because I did want to mention that aspect when we were speaking about they're like millionaire makers. So when you take out someone like Adolph, who definitely was always reaching back and empowering younger artists in his city, these would have been the people in position because once again, they big homie is showing them how to play the independent game. You got somebody that's masterful in their execution, teaching
Right.
you the steps, step by step. So this is guaranteeing these people for success. Because if you don't got the business down pat, you know what I'm saying, you're not going to make that impact to be on par with because we're speaking about moguls now.
Right.
Who's the next moguls?
Right, because Empire eventually would have had to give them shares of their company. They would have had to eventually give them labels, label deals, distribution, anything. And keep in mind, when these independent artists get knocked off on their way up, on their ascent and whatnot, the
Mhm.
major labels, the executives at the major label go, "Whoo, man! I thought they was gonna be a problem." Lord have, you know what I mean? Because
damn, Red.
an independent artist
Damn, Red.
success is a threat to the ideal of what the major labels represent. They do not, they can't exist in the same place, Rich. They can't. The dream is, you know, it pulls the curtain back from what they keep selling the 360 deal about.
Right.
So Kanye West, they had to take the song down from streaming platforms. Why? Because Future is owned by Epic, and they said we
Republic, right?
paid this,
Republic, I thought it was Republic.
I believe he was signed to Epic, but Epic could be under Republic.
Future's on Epic.
Okay.
So Epic said we fronted. Right. Epic was like, yo, we fronted Future a lot of money to promote that album.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that he's making to recoup off of it is coming to us. You got a song with somebody that's not signed to no major label. We can't get nothing from him. We not letting that rock. Take that down. The major labels are having a proxy war with the independent artists. And the ones that get murked and whatnot, and the ones that get clipped on the way up, these major labels, they don't have a problem with that because these artists are a threat to their business model. The younger artists are, remember what I was saying before, there's a preferred demographics that everybody is aiming at right now. Kendrick Lamar's aiming at them. He's teaching them, he's culturing them. That's why he's giving them Al Green and Teddy P and all of them. He's culturing a younger generation that did not get cultured. These are the 17-year-olds to the 25-year-olds. They are the preferred demographics because they buy the most stuff. They are the ones that's Gag City, who was all up in Nicki Minaj's concert. That's Rolling Loud. This is a demographics where they have expendable income, and they are the preferred demographics. That's who Kai Cenat and them is talking to. That's who Aiden Ross and them is talking to. That's who Academics has in his chat room. That is who they are trying to appeal to. That's who Drake has in a headlock.
Right.
But Drake has them in a headlock because he has the machine behind him. Because this younger generation is encapsulated by the machine. They are encapsulated by the Matrix. You can't convince them that they are part of the Matrix. They was the ones that was like, I'm tired of marching. I'm going back to playing Call of Duty.
It's like, give me the blue pill.
Give me the blue pill. I'm good on this shit. They start getting hit with some water hosing. They was like, you know what? We going to OnlyFans and Starbucks and Five Guys, and we gonna hang this shit up. You know what I mean? And they turned into BLM, and they left the struggle. They live in a soft life, Rich. The young generation, they want to live a soft life. Drake represents the soft life. Drake represents aspiration to them. Drake represents, because they're like, yo, if I shift my allegiance to Kendrick, I need to know what is inside of his walk-in closet. I need to know. I need a signature shoe, bro. That's what the younger generation is on. Who's sponsoring him? Where's his endorsement?
Yeah,
type
I
shit.
think you said something so genius earlier, and I don't want you to not repeat it on this platform, Red. When you were speaking about what we're seeing as the manifestation of what you were speaking on in terms of the CIA, how they have the 3-tier system of private and secret. And it's almost like the audience is waiting to know what's the secret life, who's going to expose, the exposure, the voyeurism aspect of society, the way that the CIA knows how to infiltrate is because they know that 90-something% of society is voyeurs. They're into voyeurism. They want to watch. They want to know the dirt. They want the tea, right? They want
your proclivities.
Yeah, they want the proclivities. So,
and don't be a weirdo.
And this conversation, around proclivities and people's secrets in their lives have been, enrapturing the news cycle since November. You know what I mean? Since November, nonstop, every day.
Since Me Too.
And every story, damn near because I think it even started before November, because they was talking about Will Smith and them right before that. Remember, they kept talking about what was going on with these men.
And they best
in their bedroom and the secrets, you know what I'm saying? And then, Now this is what the hip hop battles are.
No, Blue and Rich and Blue in battle rap. What signifies what they call the death knell or the death blow? What kills the other rapper?
When they get information on your private life, that angle.
The angle of what? Your private life.
Mm.
Don't let them find out a secret. Don't let you be a freaky nigga. And you have
Lux Calico, like Lux Calico. Remember he was skinny dipping? Remember Calico was butt ass naked? Lux put it on the jump.
Right. So,
remember that? That was the death blow.
Right. It borders on gossip, right? What they call is fit.
Is fit.
Because is fit, right? Is what people are dealing with right now. They want to know, what do you know? What dirt do you have? How good is your investigators? What did Kendrick say about him? What's the bullet points? What's the gossip? What's the tea? What's the dirt?
Right? Money I live
they want to know, right? So that should show anybody, guard your private life and your secrets with your life, because battle rap is showing you they could finish each other in a battle, but your ass could get finished in real life like that too. You could get finished at Thanksgiving dinner in front of your family.
Yeah. Push your teeth.
If somebody outs you right there. So we have to be mindful of how powerful our private life and our secrets are, and you need to guard that with every fiber of your existence. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
I want to get to some questions from the family. The chat's been wonderful tonight. I want to thank everybody who's holding down the chat with the comments, the super chats, the questions, all of that. And let me just remind everybody, I said this before on a couple of shows with Red and Blue, us talking about hip hop and people curious about us talking about hip hop. We talked about that earlier. This channel name is partly due to a hip hop group called 3-6 Mafia. The Black Magic 363 comes from 3-6 Mafia, the 3 6s. I resonated heavy. They were signed to a label called Hypnotized Minds, and their music was mad hypnotic. And I would listen to it and I would feel like, I was just being hypnotized, but I would go into my own meditation shit while their beats, DJ Juicy J, his beats was phenomenal. Half of the majority of the trap music you hear today is coming from
out of that.
It's coming out of that. It's coming out of 3-6 Mafia beats. That sound, the sonics of Memphis is what we're hearing today in today's music. So this channel is heavily got to give thanks to 3-6 Mafia for that sound. So shout out to you, Lord Infamous,
real
Juicy
quick, I want to ask something.
DJ Paul, Crunchy Black. What was
Gangsta
her name?
Boo.
The sister who just Gangsta Boo. Rest in power, Gangsta Boo.
And Lord Chaos, the guy, what's his name? Lord Chaos. It was another one that had
somebody just said it. Lord Infamous.
Lord Infamous. I gotta say this because I have to add this as an addendum to what I was saying about somebody mentioned in the chat, and I agree. Expose yourself, because somebody was like, real people don't got nothing to hide. Nigga, you eat your boogers. You bite your finger toenails, nigga. You put your toenail in your mouth. Stop playing with me. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. You feel me? I ain't here for that. Everybody has some secret shit, bro. Let's stop the bullshit. I'm not here for that. Don't play with me. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody has a private side of themselves. So, like I said earlier, a few months ago, when I was talking about private versus secret, the reason why Sexy Red is winning is because she told you her secret life. She showed you her private life. The reason why Drake is winning is because he leaked his sex tape and he let you niggas, you zesty ass Negroes, see his wood. That's why he's winning in your mind. You feel me? Because he brought you into a private place where you can't forget him. Okay? Expose yourself. I'm giving y'all pillars of powers and arts of war. Y'all not ready for these type of conversations. Expose yourself. If you this is moving into the future and moving forward. And like I said, if you could learn something, this is a teacher moment. If you out here in the public with a mask on and your private mass is the complete opposite of your public mass, you finished, because you about to get exposed somewhere down the line. You be better off letting the world know that you a piece of shit and standing on it. If that's what it is in private, or if in secret this is what you want, you might as well expose yourself. Leak your own tape. Put your own dirt out there. Don't let nobody do it to you, because you could get washed in the matrix. And if you die in the matrix, you die in the real world.
Right.
Yo, just before we get to the, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm just sharing that there's a formula that certain artists are using. You might not realize it. It might go over your head, but there's a formula where public-facing artists are beginning to take that public mask off, and they're just saying, I'm going private first. Henceforth, you got artists that have OnlyFans. So you could see their private life. So you could make no mistake about what they into, what they like, and all of these other proclivities, because they're allowing you access to see it. This is profound. It's never been like that before. So I'm gonna just leave it at that.
And you got artists literally putting on masks, right? And getting
anonymity is the new famous.
Anonymity, yes.
Because in a world where everybody is famous, the new famous is to not show your face. Prior to the internet and social media, you wanted to be known because everybody being famous was that shit was a flex. Being famous now is not a flex. I hate when people are stopping me and I got shit to do.
Let brother Rich speak on anonymity versus, the visual aspects of your face being seen, because you held the line for quite some time. Was there a power dynamic? How did you feel when you had that level of access to, people's everyday, once again, their mental sphere programming, and they didn't even have to see you? Because, and then at that time, it was when the community was very scene driven. Like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, people were into wanting to see people and know about your lives and shit like that.
I'm gonna tell you, Blue. It's almost like feeling like God, in a sense where we know God exists, but we can't see him or her or it or whatever. They knew Brother Rich was there. They felt my work. They knew my work was all over the world globally. God's work is global. But they can't see him. So they couldn't see him. I felt like God. I could move freely. Oh, man, that was a good idea. I felt like God, man. My work was out there. I was impacting millions of people, but nobody knew me. That's God level shit right there. Scott, that's why the biggest bosses do that, because the goal of the biggest boss is to, emulate God. So that's how bosses move. So yeah, I'm glad you asked that, Blue. Let me get to some questions. Yes, they're twins. Somebody asked if they're twins. Yes, Red and Blue are twin brothers. You must be new. You must be new to the channel. Yes, they are twins. And shout out to my brother KT. Let's start out with some super chat questions. Got to show love to the people who donate first. All right. Really and Diddy going. I don't know what I did. Please try not to misspell, family. Really and Diddy going down represents the bad parts of hip hop being torn down. Who will we as a culture put in their place, or will we let Drake's family plant people?
Who will we let? Right? Who will we let? The people. They do decide. The reason why I like this Kendrick battle and the points that they're making is that there's a separation being made between artistry and pop. and pop people could stay where they at. You know what I mean? They can enjoy pop life on the pop island and whatnot. But there's a divide, and I don't think that divide is going to be forgotten by the people moving forward and whatnot. So the people are going to be more apt at this point to elect new leadership. And when I say leadership, I'm just saying people who are going to be feeding them through their artistry and whatnot. The people are going to be more decisive and saying, nah, I'm rocking with this and I ain't rocking with that. And like Blue said earlier, we're right here in the eve of AI. So now the artists have to share the stage with artificial intelligence. There's no we're in the last era of human artists only. We're not there anymore, guys. We are literally in an era where you saw the when they made the 70s song of the Drake remix.
Yeah, that was fire. That was fire.
That shit was heat.
It was heat. Say me no more.
I ain't gonna hold you.
I ain't gonna hold you.
The Sexy Red remix was fire. It had more class to it.
Had more class. I was like, damn, they should have created a whole sketch around that. You know, like sketch. I'm gonna get you, sucker. That come on in the movies. Like, I'm like, damn,
with the CapCut filter on it to make it look like black.
Yeah, I'm like, don't take these songs lightly because they're capturing the spirit for a music that no longer has soul in it. You know, Rich was speaking about the thing that really connected with him initially when he heard the Kendrick disc was about the feeling that it had, restoring the feeling back. You know, you can feel that he was chipping away. You know what I'm saying? You know how he was climbing in the. You like, damn, I could almost visually see him in the booth. Like, there's a love and a passion there. I'm like, yo, he's rapping like this is really what he does for his life. Hip hop is encased within him. It has become him. This is what we breathe. This is what we eat. This is who we are. You feel me? Hip hop is a frequency. It's a wave. It's an energy. Like hip hop. Like Karis one told me in an interview last year. It's an energy. It's a frequency. And we don't have nowhere else to go. It is home.
Right. They said Ak is posting. Drake is about to drop.
I told you he dropping today. Right. I just want to say this. That the spirit is breath.
Yes, sir.
Right? And breath is the word. And the word is God. And our voice, the words we say, our cadence, our inflection, the pauses that we take, the passion in our voice, the power in our voice. People say that when they hear certain people, they have life in their voice. Why? Because the spirit is breath. And when AI comes about, they could clone the face, they could clone the quote unquote physical, but they can't clone the spirit. Meaning that they can't clone the word, right?
Yes.
They could copy it. They
the
can
logos.
copy it. The logos. They cannot clone it because the word is God. Spirit. They can't AI the spirit. They can't AI the spirit. They cannot.
You can't. That's a shirt. That's a shirt.
When the spirit leaves the husk.
That's a shirt.
When the spirit leaves the husk, it's game over. That husk becomes one with the earth. You are not the body. You are the spirit. So the spirit,
Reverend Red.
AI is cloning the voice. They're cloning the spirit. They're cloning the sound. They're cloning the word. You should be nervous about that because they're coming very close to fooling the average human, what they call the Turing test. The Turing test is the test that they gave humans to make when you get that robocall. One day you're going to get that robocall and you ain't going to know that it's AI. Anytime that they call me, the first word I say is this AI. You got to literally talk to me for a few minutes and answer random questions before we start talking.
Yeah.
Because I can't trust anything anymore. This AI shit's spooky.
Yeah. Let me get to another. I don't have any more. Okay, I don't have any more super chat questions. Give me some questions in the chat. I thought I had some more super chat questions. Give me some more questions in the chat for Red and Blue. Did y'all want to say anything in the meantime while we get some questions from the family? Well, let me say this. As I got to say something I was impressed with as an older fan of hip hop. Something that stood out to me that Kendrick, and he seems to be passionate about this. He said it in both of his tracks. He said it in Euphoria as well as 616. He makes reference to him putting his children that daddy shit. Somebody in the comments said these rappers gonna make Drake be a good dad after this shit. They keep coming at Drake for being for the type of dad he is. Remember, Pusha T,
his son on his IG.
Yeah, man. So, but nah, what Kendrick said about his children is real shit. putting your children to bed at night. It's a undescribable. There's no language that could describe when you get to see your child sleep happy, safe. You know, that's an undescribable feeling for all the men out there, just to share something that stood out to me as an older fan of battle rap and hip hop.
Right. I just read my son right before I came downstairs, and he brought 5 books to me. You feel me? I was like, bring a book to me. He brought 5 of them. I'm like, fam, what we doing? So reading my son a book at night, and like Kendrick said, praying over him.
Yeah, man, that shit.
Or you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to put this out there, but like even last week, you know what I mean? My little man, he was under the weather and whatnot. You feel me? Like,
yeah,
he was down bad. And he wasn't eating. He was like, I told my wife, I was like, well, he just fasted for like 3-4 days. He went on the master fast. Now he eating like a grown man. And I didn't eat with him. You know what I mean? If he wasn't eating, I wasn't.
Damn.
He was in the bed all day. I was in the bed all day. You know what I mean? Because I was trying to transfer whatever that problem that he was having and take it on to myself. I was like, I'll take it, on some old Green Mile type of stuff. And the vulnerability of a parent when your child is like, needs you and whatnot, that's something that, I don't know. It's unexplainable. Like, there's a vulnerability as a parent that you begin to feel when you willing to put it all on the line for your man, your little mans, and your daughter, your son and whatnot. And, yeah, I really appreciate the fact that he is making fatherhood seem like an honorable thing. Like, you could get everything right, my G, but if you ain't on that fatherhood shit, you still incomplete.
Well, we got an honest question here. Let me just throw this out there before because while we're on this topic, somebody says Drake never wanted the kid's mama. Is he required to father them and not simply finance them? Maybe an unpopular opinion, but what's your thoughts?
I'll answer that.
Yes, go ahead, my brother.
There's no such thing as a mistake. Once you become in tune with spirituality, and once you become in tune with a little higher understanding about procreation and how we're chosen by these entities to incarnate through us, there's something called chance encounters, but there's no mistakes. You met that one night stand for a reason. And, y'all did what y'all did to bring that star seed to this planet. So you're obligated to be a father, right? Not just be a dad, but to be a father to said child. So when you're a star like Drake, when you're somebody who's a superstar, who is quote unquote a world known artist, I can never co-sign, just making children and just leaving them, just scattering them around the planet, and you're not giving them all of the tenets of what a star can give their child. Like, you're supposed to make that one child's life the best life that they can ever have.
Indeed.
But it's not with money though, and I don't know what he does with his son, but I see him from what it looks like. His son got some ball skills. I don't think the mama taught him that.
Indeed. All right. It was a question. All right. Dr. Drew Pukram said, when you speak ill of others, your body immediately moves to disease. Is all the rap dissing creating a disease in our collective energy?
Let's say this. There's wars going on outside. I had to look at the cadavers of children, right? Babies and whatnot, for approximately 4 to 5 months. And nobody cared about our mental health then. Right. And you talk about dissing. These people were online. There's a battle taking place, and it's bigger than a rap battle. There's all kind of conflicts occurring on timelines. There's timelines going on. There's all kind of conflicts occurring in multiple industries and all around. So battle rap, like I said, I'm looking at this, what I'm seeing as battle rap. Right. And I'm not saying and it's not to discredit what Dr. Drew Pukram is saying. But any type of war is taxing on the spirit. Any type of, I've gotten into fights, and after the fight, I collapsed. Not in front of the person I fought. Me and my brother used to fight when we were younger and whatnot. And I would go in the other room and I would have to decompress because that buildup and everything, you lose a piece of yourself every time you engage in some type of combat. So yeah, but you know, we you know, you do lose a part of yourself, but you do gain a part of yourself as well. So it's a case of destroying and rebuilding oneself, because sometimes I might have to go into a rap battle to get completely ethered because I need that. I need a motherfucker to read me. I needed to get read, and I needed to fight back and get over my fears and whatnot as well. So even though I might take a lot of blows, I might take a lot of hits, it's like boxing and whatnot. After that battle, when I face my foe again, I'll be stronger.
Okay.
Yeah, we are in Taurus season, and Taurus is the cow. So this is the season of beef. Pause. No Diddy, but the college campuses all across the news, all across the world, right? There's this energy, but now hip hop is embroiled in conflict. So this also is going to charge up the ionosphere to make an atmosphere very charged and susceptible for the fireworks that's going to go off around the end of May, going into maybe like June. You know what I'm saying? Around the time I think that the George Floyd protests broke out in this year, which was May 29th, that's when the solar flare, that's when the sun woke up since 2017 of October. It woke up on May 29th of 2020. So I feel that, you know, what we see on the college campuses is going to spill into cities. And it looks like the country's at the pinnacle of a breaking point. You know what I'm saying? And there's really no way to avoid it, because what we're looking at is either a psyops or a psyops is on the way.
It's
But
gonna start at the campuses.
yeah,
Sorry,
it has already started.
that's the ground zero.
Hip hop has to take another posture. Again, like I said, I asked, has there been one song since these situations kicked off that speaks about this, the global incident, that addresses it? Hip hop has said nothing. Hip hop has been on the sidelines. It's going to be very hard to just party and BS. You know what I'm saying? When we get into the summertime, it's going to get intense in the city. They already seeded the consciousness of the people with the Civil War movie. You know, I think homie about to lose that trial. That's going to throw things into disarray. You know what I'm saying? If they got to put son in cuffs in New York, there's so many one things that can push this thing to a place where it may not necessarily, you know what I mean, be
Yeah.
desirable. You feel me?
No,
So I think
definitely.
this energy and this atmosphere lays and lends into it, because people are foaming at the mouth.
Mm.
They are banging on one another. They are drawing the line. There's separation. There's dissension. You know, it's a colorism question going on. It's old versus young, rich versus, you know, middle class or
Oh,
poor. Like, oh, there's no poor righteous teachers, the broke, there's no broke niggas. You know, all of that's taking place. It's intensifying while the wolves are on the perimeter, because the Christian nationalists are now putting out their plans for 2025. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
the six guard state is running down with their secret
right,
cells here,
Mm.
bashing people's
I'm, I'm,
heads.
I'm, I'm gonna put the question. I'll be right back. I'm gonna put the question on. Next question for y'all.
right. So they got the frat boys at the colleges basically being the front man for the six guards, right? So the frat boys are like the MAGA hats. They the red hats, right? The frat boys on all of the campuses are now the quote unquote protectors of the flag, and they're going against the protesters because Fox News, Ben Shapiro, and the propaganda machines have painted the protesters as combatants,
Anti-US. Right.
anti-US. So the stage is set, right? The theater of war, the stage is set. It's a powder keg. They allow grown people in UCLA to pull up to that campus the other day and commit all type of atrocities in the name of I don't even know what I don't even know what they call that. You know what I mean? That was blatant. If I was a parent who was spending 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 to 70 bands to send my child, even if they wasn't protesting, even if they was safely in a dorm somewhere, I'm removing my child immediately and I'm suing that college. Okay. We've seen college protests before, so this is nothing new. However, this one right here is a little bit different because of so many ties. Like Blue said, this political climate that we're moving into, this theater of politics that we're moving into, that's going to ramp up in the summertime. It is going to explode like a powder keg, either on those campuses. Like I said, the minute the minute blood begins to spill, the same in this situation that we see in this rap thing. Ross almost was unalive today, bro. Like the triple entendres that I think I don't even think if the boy was gonna drop tonight, he might have to go re-record it, put an extra bar because wing stop. The wing stop the plane. The wing stop. The double entendre that's gonna come from the Rick Ross plane shit. Crazy. Crazy. I'm ready for that. I'm here for it. Ricky, you done walked yourself into a breathing meme, my nigga. Ricky, wing stop. The wing stopped the plane from crash.
Right.
So yeah. It's we're in a theater, y'all. Just know that this is a theater. Know that this is being orchestrated.
Right. And the atmosphere is very charged right now. It's very magnetic. So if you speak on something, especially with conviction, and if you're standing on it, especially if your heart is in it right now, you're gonna manifest it. This is that retrograde eclipse energy. Because the eclipse energy feel like it went backwards. And I named a few different examples to speak specifically to that. You know what I mean? But be very mindful. Be mindful of what's on your mind, especially as we move into Gemini, which is the season of the mind. Right. You know what I'm saying? Very mercurial things taking place. Things are manifesting like this. Boom, 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 boom. So
it's
up. Yeah, it's up. We're in that place. We're in that portal. And you just got to be very mindful and find a way to always alchemize this energy, even if you're entertaining or being entrained by the conversation around contention and people clashing their horns. You know what I'm saying? Don't get lost in that energy. Find a way to transmute it. The Drake push-up song, it works good in the gym for some people. They drop and give them 50. You know what I mean? Kendrick thing is another anthem that people, but use that as fuel or steam to actually get some things done. Don't get consumed in the nature of the battle. You know what I'm saying? And then again, or for those of us that understand it on multi levels and multi tiers, that's where it qualifies itself for me because I see that it's so multi contextual, and I see it. I see it. I speak on it, and it manifests itself. I stand on my business. I'm firm with my convictions because I know that what we're saying is right and exact, and then it manifests itself. So
let's answer this question. What is the future of conscious hip hop / rap?
Yeah, and that's an extension of what I'm speaking about. We're adding to that. We're doing what we need to do in the genre to make sure that the conversation is being had. We got a whole album that we released, and it sounds like soundtracks to everything going on because we were observing in real time and writing commentary to that. And that's what came out as the 48 Pillars of Power. You can get it now. It's available for download and stream and all of that good stuff. But the future of conscious rap hopefully would be the contingency of independent artists that are building their movements and their platforms as the old system falls to the wayside, trips on itself and crumbles. So shout out to people like Free Soul, shout out to Illuminati Congo, shout out to Bada, of course.
Me Too.
Me Too, right? Brother Ampu, shout out Keys is coming with his project. I see Mike Rashid just put something out. Shout out to the brother Hugh. there's mad people that are tapping in to do music, that are, you know, circling around in the block, and a lot of people are bringing about cutting edge technology, you know, to empower the independent artists to reach a larger base. Distribution is really the key to everything right now. You could be the dopest artist. If you don't got distro, if you don't have no way to get your product to the people, you're gonna lose in you know, this current landscape of what the music industry represents. So
Yes.
hopefully consciousness and conscious hip hop can catch the shout out to my brother T Walker, right?
Yes.
Shout out to RJ Payne. You know, all of these new voices in hip hop. That shout out to the brother Iron 360. You know, that are kicking in the door. So shout out to my brother Dooley. They just invited me and called me today. They're gonna have something called More Stock in North Carolina, and they want artists to come out and touch some stages. You know, we have to create community around our culture, our art, build from there. I think conscious hip hop's I think is their time is next. But it has to be a hybrid of something new, not just the same old. But we're waiting for
Right.
that new.
Right. I feel that the future of conscious hip hop slash rap is at its brightest that it's ever been. This battle right here is a decisive battle. This battle is akin to when it's bigger than when 50 Cent and Kanye went at it, but the industry is a follower industry. It's an influential industry, so they get influenced. The women gonna follow wherever the shit moves. So we don't gotta worry about that. No disrespect to the women. I'm not being facetious or nothing, but y'all move with the energy. You know what I mean? If whatever's in, that's where y'all moving in that direction. So if Kendrick is able to defeat homie and get his, you know, and he's ushering in a new sound and a new energy because he does represent conscious. He will be the conscious artist. He will be the archetype of the conscious hip hop artist. Him taking out Drake rises his quote unquote importance to a higher level. And then they begin to look at people like JID. They begin to look at the Cambadas, the Cyrocs, you know what I mean? These artists begin to get mentioned. There's no mentioning of these artists in this Drake climate since he's been on the scene, because what Kendrick is exposing is that era has to end in order for this newer era to take place with this these ideas and concepts. That's why he's giving you this poetry and he's injecting ideas and concepts, because it's the ideas and concepts of this deaf culture that has to eventually change. And because homie is not a real one, not to take anything away, he's just not a real one. He's a poser who would basically co-sign damn near anything as long as it would help his insecurities. He personally can't steer the culture because he's not standing on foundation. And I'm sorry to, I'm sorry. This is not hate. This is an observation. If Drake is not secure in his persona of who he is, how can he be beneficial to anybody else? How can he steer the culture? He's not steering the culture. The culture is steering him. He's jumping on waves. He's not creating them. He'll jump on a young nigga. He jumped on Block Boy 50 from Memphis wave. He jumped on the young nigga wave from over there. He jumped on 21 Savage wave back. He jumped on Little Baby's wave when he was lit like that in Atlanta. He didn't start the wave. He jumped on it. So he's a wave writer. He doesn't create waves, my G. You got to know the difference. You got to know the difference. Okay? So hip hop is in a great place right now. We need more artists to come out. We need more artists to be vocal. And like Blue said, we need a time. We need an artist to define 2024 in rhyme and lyric. It's too much shit going on. I'm not waiting for Murder. What's his name? I'm not waiting for Uncle Murder at the end of the year, nigga. Nah. We need somebody giving us
where's the music? Where's the commentary? It's mad stuff going on. I can make 3 albums worth of content about what's going on right now. Where the artists at? Where's the art? Where's it at? This thing is wide open. That's what I'm saying. There's nobody in control. And everything is being upended because of that vacuum. It's like what's driving the culture? What's leading the charge? You know what I'm saying? Where are we going as a people? Because the music is tied into that. We're at the pinnacle, the cusp of something, but we're also semi lost because you know our brain waves are being you know conditioned for music made for 16 and 19-year-olds that's devoid of substance. That's only
D.
telling them to bang, bang,
The
bang,
Drake
bang,
shit
bang,
drop.
bang, 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 bang. And I'm
The
I
like,
Drake
wanna
shit drop.
drop. Yeah, I
Family
knew it was gonna
matters.
drop, huh?
Family matters.
So let's I was about to wrap it up anyway. To close it out, you don't have to spend too much time answering this. You mentioned Drake not being a wave maker. If you could pick one, or if you could just name one of many, who is the or one of the greatest wave makers in
Yay.
hip hop? Yeah, I agree. That was my answer. Well, what about you, Blue?
um, yeah, when we talk about waves that conform society and modalities, I always would also mention Future, Pluto. Um,
Yes,
I mean,
great
I
answer.
again, and this is me being, like you said, an observer, and I'm pointing a finger. I'm not saying that's my favorite, and I'm not saying that I agree with the content, but I also identify that his music has the ability to create waves, and they conform culture and society around them, and then people coalesce around that wave and adapt to it. So I've seen him do that in the culture continuously and move it. So I know where Future's moving the thing to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And it's kind of clear. He makes it apparent, and that's just a continuation or offshot of where the culture's already been at. Where Big and Puff brought it to. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. I would identify him definitely
Future.
as
Got
someone
you. Got
who
you.
creates ripples and waves. Yes.
Definitely. Hey, I want y'all to leave your contact info. Tell the folks how they can reach y'all. I want to thank everybody. Another man. First of all, I want to before y'all say that, I want to thank y'all for this 3-part series. Amazing 3-part series, man. The way y'all broke it down tonight, the back and forth, it was amazing. Very happy we did this 3-part series. It was nothing that we planned. It just happened naturally. It just, it just happened like that. So let's just keep up doing what we're doing. Yeah, leave your contact info for the family.
Yes. At Blue Pillar 44. That's Blue Pillar PILLAR 44. You can find me on IG. If you need to get in contact with me or any inquiries for business, you can shoot me something at bluepillar44@gmail.com. Of course, goldwater.com. GOLDEWEETERATER.com. CosmicDust.com for some of this drip, y'all. I got some jewelry up there that you guys will love. Some clothes as well. COZMIKDUST.com. That's CosmicDust.com. All right. Red.
Red, you there? Oh,
Yeah, I'm there. Just listening to this Drake shit.
how it sound?
Oh, he doing the stop, dropping 50. He's continuing the shit that he ended off with the drop and give me 50. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He's spitting though, from what I heard. He's spitting. We gonna go ahead and dissect it, and we gonna go ahead and see what we got here. But there's a clip that I heard on YouTube where he was trying to emulate that type of musical style that Kendrick was doing, and that shit was whack. It was whack. But we could be found on YouTube Mondays and Thursdays and whatnot. Know the Ledger 44, and you can find me on IG Phil_Moreland MORELAND, and I would definitely appreciate everybody to go and get that album, and that is at blackcloudent.bandzoogle, spell like Google. Yeah. That part.
All right. Hey, with that being
right.
Yeah.
Black Cloud, because you gotta spell Black Cloud for them to spell different.
Oh, KLOWD.
So Cloud, y'all, he's spelling
Cloud.
KLOWDENT.bandzoogle, spelled like Google, but Zoogle.
Right. If there's anybody in the chat who has the site, just drop it in there for the people, because I'm not in the chat room and whatnot. You feel me? So, you know, they could be able to get that. But I appreciate y'all. I appreciate your platform. The comments was lit. I was able to glance and look at them. I love the engagement. I feel like we all learned tonight. We were all picking up jewels and whatnot. We were all being enlightened. The magic of it all is that we brought the baby down. You know what I mean? Son was in labor over there in Canada, and he let one out. So we're gonna go ahead and you know what I mean, the three wise men, we're gonna go ahead and check on that baby and see what we got up in this manger and whatnot. You know?
Yeah, and before we get out of here, I do respect Drake's response time. I do respect his response time, but I also agree that I wouldn't have used the same beat as push-ups, the beat that he used. I wouldn't have did that. But you know, I'm gonna listen to it as a fan of hip-hop culture. I'm gonna listen to it, see what it's about. But thanks everybody for tuning in. I will see y'all back again on Monday. Go ahead, Blue. You got Blue.
No. Telling them peace.
Okay. All right, family. See you next time. Peace, family. We out of here.
Peace.